Basketball is my life. I have nothing else.
This is incredible. This is the best grateful I've ever heard.
Shooters. That's what we do.
Shooters, a basketball podcast. Let's go.
Boom. We've had some technical difficulties, but we're here. Episode 14, Shooters Podcast. Let's go, Darren. How you doing?
Let's do it. You almost said 40 then. Sounded like that. One day we'll get to 40. It'll be a nice little milestone around that 50 mark. But I am good. How are you doing this
I'm
week?
doing very well. It was a great week for the Jack Jumpers and the club. So, you know, when wins are going well, then everyone's feeling pretty good.
They are. And you know what? I'm going to throw us completely off schedule because my hype up is you this week, and I knew you would bring it up. Just in conversation to discuss what's going on. But no, I'm hyping you up this week. Your 28-point performance. It was 28,
Yeah, it was 28.
Yeah, would love to see it. Although, I would have loved to see it. I didn't even get to watch the game live, which was kind of bugging me as soon as I looked at that box score. So, is that a career high as well?
It is draw career high.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those funny ones. Yeah, that sucked that I couldn't watch it, but hey, I went back and watched the highlights. Saw that nice, it was like behind the back, step back. You were feeling pretty good about yourself. It seemed that way. So talk us through it. How'd it feel out there?
Appreciate it first for the shout. It's been feeling good. Obviously, the last couple of weeks with the toe, it's been like not much movement, but it's starting to feel a bit better. And I'm just coming in and being as aggressive as I can. Feeling good. I'm feeling confident. The push-ups every day have got me feeling good. The mindset is feeling healthy, and I'm just going out there having fun. And it's the best time of the year, man. Playing basketball this time of the year, where every game is so meaningful. It's a do or die basketball. If you want to be in the playoffs, now's the time. There's no more talking. It's time to walk the walk.
It's very true. It's time to do your thing to get into that top 6. Top 4, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. The new playing situation is confusing me every time you talk about it. It's like, where do you want to get to? But no, it was cool to see you.
Do we want to break down the playing game right now for everyone listening?
Look, maybe we should, because even talking about it, I'm getting confused about it. But so from my perspective, if I'm getting this correct, actually, do you want to talk us through?
I definitely am on top of it. If you would like me to walk you through it.
Yes, that is. There's more confidence coming off of you.
Okay, well, I just ran my big brother Dylan through this, and he's excited to listen to this episode, so he's about to have a repeat. So there's 6 teams make playoffs. There's a 10-team league, obviously. Now, top 2, 1 and 2, they go automatically through to the semi-final playoff round. Semi-finals are best of 3 games. Okay, so 1 and 2 automatically through. 3 and 4 play a single game against each other at third place's home court arena. Now, the winner of this game is straight through to play second place of the regular season in a playoff game when that starts. But the little playing games are still going. Now, while 3 and 4 are playing each other, 5 and 6 are playing each other as well at fifth place's home court. The loser of that is done. They're going home. They're going fishing in the off season. They're going camping. Now, the winner of 5 and 6 plays the loser of 3 and 4 at their home. So if you can't come third or fourth, you're guaranteed a home game. It's a 1-game series. The winner of that game will play first place in the official semi-finals playoff games, best of 3. And that's how this year it will be played out.
Has anyone ever complimented your memory?
Because not before. Never before.
I reckon they should. I don't know whether there's just some good luck these past few weeks, but one, that explanation right there seemed dead on, and no hesitating at all. You just knew what it was all about. And last week, you recalled that when I mentioned that Bryce Cotton game or something to do with
cans.
Something. You put out all these facts. The can stuff. You put out all these facts. So yeah, it's very well described for the people out there. And Tassie you guys are currently sitting 4th, which is a nice little spot at the moment.
Yep. So you're definitely chasing that top 4 because, as I said, it's a guaranteed home game. So even if you lose the first one, which hopefully you don't, that second game in 4th place you'll get at home. Or if you lost that first one at home, you get another home game. And it's a lot easier, I tell you, in this league to win 1 game than 2. So you're fighting for that top 4.
Spot on. No, it's going to be interesting how it's going to all play out because it's obviously the first year that it's happened. But yeah, going back to the hype up, it's definitely it's cool watching you now that we're doing this. Like, it's a different kind of. Every time I tune into a Tassie game, it's just funny, sort of I don't know. Obviously, you are who you are on this screen that I stare at every week, and then you stare at the other screen, and it's like, hey, this is cool. It just gives you a bit of a grateful full moment, and yeah, it's definitely cool that we're doing this thing. But who have you got this week?
I appreciate it, and it's fun watching your friends play sport, man. Fun watching your friends do your thing. It's I feel the same way whenever I see a cool photo that you post. I'm like, that's my friend, or when someone else like shares it or something, it's just celebrating other people's success. But my hype up this week is just going to go to Melbourne United. So I'm actually giving out a group shout out, and we can talk about them individually a bit later, which I think we will go into some detail. But I just wanted to give them a shout out because 7 of your last 8 games is big time. They're still playing for something. Where with 5 games to go, if they win out, they what I'm saying, they're putting themselves in a spot to make the playoffs, and that puts you in a spot to win 2 games in a row and to be playing in the semi-finals. And they're keeping their dreams alive, not only by luck, which we will talk about some controversial reffing a bit later, but by playing extraordinary team basketball. And shout out to Melbourne United.
I like that. I like that different variation on that little segment. And I wanted to talk about Marcus Lee a bit, which relates to this obviously, but he's been great for them. Isaac Humphries going down with a bit of an injury, so he's had to play more minutes and more of a role. He definitely played pretty damn well against you guys a few games ago. 22, 10 and 4 blocks. He was great. I just loved when players just kind of play their role to perfection, and that's what he seems to do. Like, he doesn't try to do anything he can't, and it's been cool seeing him sort of improve as he's finally sort of got his feet under him since
100%. He was an absolute beast against us and played a pivotal role in beating us. I think he had 22, 10 and 4, and exactly what you said, played that low spot around the rim to perfection, finishing those touches around the ring, dunking it, blocking shots, and impacting the game in a lot of ways. And he's playing a pivotal role in hopefully getting them to the playoffs.
Definitely, yeah. It's been fun to see them do their thing. And speaking of, little segue here, speaking of teams you played, Illawarra, it feels like a while ago, but Mango Mathiang almost got you. He almost, he tried to just like slam it on top of Jack, and I don't even know if it was on top of, but it was funny watching the replay because it was almost like one of those ones where you look back on it, you're like, it actually wasn't that close. Like, it was a bit of an unrealistic, I don't know. He was probably like, I'm actually further out than I kind of realized, but I always enjoy when I look. I try to take note of who the defender is, and it's just.
Would you like me to break down the play for you? Right, there's different pick and roll coverages. So pick and roll is obviously when a big man runs into a screen, the ball handler comes off it, and each team guards it differently. So some ways it's like a hard show where the big really gets out, or a trap, or drops, like Sydney plays drops. So we're like a hard show team. So we're baiting the hard show, and in that situation, you need to have someone under the ring protecting. Now, Jack McVeigh was a little bit late. So when you're late, it's going to be brought up on film. It's going to put you in a bad situation, put the team in a bad situation. And so I was late, and I saw his eyes light up as he ran down to the rim. He was open because it was meant to be my coverage, but I jumped up, closed my eyes, straight up. We call it a wall up, because you just want to go straight up like a wall. And I was lucky he missed it, because when I came down, I was like, wow, that could have been bad.
Verticality. I was very. I thought you were going to lead that in with just my life flashed before my eyes, and I had to rethink everything. But he didn't get it, so it's fine. All's well,
but it was definitely a scary, probably like 1.5 seconds of like, he's about to try this. I've got to try this too.
He would have definitely let you know about it as well. He might be one of the most. I'm just going to call him the most talkative player on the court for pretty much any game you tune into. He just keeps going. He loves it. He loves that energy. It's almost like he's trying to make eye contact with anyone on the opposition team. It's like, come on, let's chat a bit.
He's fun to play against for that reason, because he's out there chirping a little bit, having got fun. It's good sportsmanship too. He's never saying anything bad. He's just bringing the energy juice. He insulted my haircut actually one time. We made up for it later though. I said, "Oh, that was mean." Mid-game. So it was a good laugh though. We had a laugh together about it. I said I thought I looked cute, and this is all going on in the middle of a basketball game.
I don't understand how that naturally comes up. Was it just like a free throw, or you just quickly?
No, so it was actually the first time I got subbed on. He said, okay. "Damn, you bold ass and I can't repeat the rest. I said, I
Wow.
look cute though. And we both had a little chuckle and a little laugh right before we went to war.
Damn. So that was like the last game.
Yep,
game
that was the game we're referencing. So luckily he didn't dunk on me.
I think you actually got a few of the commentators mentioned your new haircut in a
Wow.
positive fashion.
As long as you like it. Do you like it?
Yes, yeah. I've always told you the first time we mentioned what haircuts we get, I'm like, you should go to 0. I like it short. So while we're on that game, I thought it'd be nice to talk about the rest of the game.
I like it.
How can you just how can you brush over your back-to-back dunks in like 10 seconds there? How can you brush over that?
Yes.
That was the same game. Like once again, I think shout out to Pete Hooley. I think on the commentary he was just like, I'm not sure that's ever happened. Jack McVeigh 2 back-to-back slams, but it was in the dying seconds, dying minute. It was fun until it wasn't fun.
know.
What happened there? What
So
happened?
Peter Hooley, first off, is on the money. It was first ever back-to-back dunks for me in my career. Probably first ever game with 2 dunks.
One-handed as well.
I put it. Did you like that one?
Yeah, I liked it. You're like, I'm feeling good.
So obviously they come down, they score, and the ball rolls to halfway, and we're on baseline, and my bench is right there, and they're celebrating, they're getting around me, and in the moment I look over and I hit some celebrations, just like some like raise the roof celebrations, and I did hit a little like I don't know how to explain it, like a little one hand like fake dunk, and anyway. The game was not over yet. There was 3 seconds left and we're up by 6. And Scott did not like my shenanigans on the baseline, obviously. So he had some stern words to me, and then some stern words after. But pretty much from his point of view he was like, if it's in the moment, that's cool, but just finish it out, finish the game out, stay locked in till the end of the game, and then you can act like an idiot when we're in the locker room or once the final buzzer has sounded.
Yeah, I did find it funny because the broadcast mics picked up Scott Roth pretty damn clearly. Like it was straight away just like, Jack, the game's not over, Jack, and then straight away you're just like, yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah,
let's continue.
Oh, exactly. When the head coach is mad, you got to stop and listen. And at this time of the year, everything's a little heated. Everyone's on edge, and we both just want to win, and sometimes I do get a little carried away and enjoying the moment and the celebrations.
I don't know. I figure you're allowed to. You guys work hard. You're allowed to have a bit of fun, but I get where Scott's coming from as well. And I think speaking of the microphones on the court, I'm pretty sure your teammates were saying like, because shout out to Sportsbet and Dunkuary, every dunk gets some sort of fund into the. I'm not actually sure where the funds go for, but it's not a good charity. So your teammates were like, Dunkuary, Jack, Sportsbets. I don't know. They were shouting it out.
Yeah, that was what was happening because it's $500 a dunk. I'm not sure where the cause goes either, but yeah, I made $1,000 for charity with my dunks. Yeah, there you go.
You should maybe, yeah, that's true. It's pretty good. Yes, go on to what you were talking about before.
Well, I'll leave on one note with the Scott Roth stuff because a lot of people are talking about it, and I think it's like all things in life. Both sides have their point. Both sides are correct and both sides can be wrong. And that's the beauty of life. And obviously we talked about it behind closed doors, and we sat down and had a chat and said, whatever. We made up and had a little hug because that's the heat of the competitive moment, right? 2 guys going about things a bit differently. And it's a head coach's job to keep people in the same line, and it's a player's job to perform and have fun. So, both guys are right, both guys are wrong. That's the beauty of life, and it all ends well.
Well said, because there's always 2 sides to a story, but hey, it's a bit of fun.
Exactly. But we'll get down now what you've been up to in the last week a bit outside of basketball. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I've switched sports for a bit this weekend. I haven't actually watched too much NBL or NBA as I normally do, but tennis. So the Oz Open is in town, and me and my brother were lucky enough to be, so ever since Thursday night through to last little content shoot is tonight. We've been doing work for the PTPA, which is it's basically just like the Tennis Players Association, similar to what we've got in basketball. But yeah, we've just been shooting content for them. He's been handling the video side of things. I've been handling the photography side of things. But so just Players Association, little meetings, little get-togethers. I think this is the first time they've all kind of been together and associating. I think it's like a pretty new sort of organization. But yeah, it was really cool to be a part of. Met Novak Djokovic, some of the names like that. A few of those pinch yourself moments where you're just kind of standing there shooting someone and you're like, oh, that's Novak. I'm going to see him on the TV in a few days. So, and it's always fun working with your brother as well. So it's
That's
pretty cool.
epic. What type of content have you been shooting? Have people been playing, or has it been more capturing these events and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's more just like sort of like the events. Actually, not really sit down, more just like mingling. And like yesterday, was a really cool space where they kind of just like set up like a table tennis table and some other things like that. And it's just more like mingling, seeing what the PTPA is all about, some information sessions. But I do wish there wasn't in to actually capture the Oz Open games. But we haven't managed a way to take photos of the actual games yet. So that's definitely on the list though. That I put that on one of my goals list last year, but haven't been able to do it yet.
Wow.
So that's all right.
So
I just think it would be cool to film tennis as well as basketball.
yeah. So have you ever shot any live tennis games before? Nice.
Never. I just every time Australian Open comes up, I'm like, hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah. No, it's a
it's
good
one day.
goal. It'll be fun.
One day.
It'll be fun. The podcast we talk about one day shooting what it was like shooting at the Oz Open. The difference between tennis and basketball.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's a cool kind of goal to have. Spread your wings a bit and different challenges, but yeah, that was cool.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now we've got a new goal set on the podcast. The Oz Open, Darren shooting it, capturing some flicks, and we'll have to put up some shots on the Shooters Pod.
You can hold me accountable if I get to have that honor
Yep.
one day. But yeah, that was me. What have you been up to offside, like off the court? Anything? Of
No,
note?
nothing too crazy. Like at this point in the year, it's get as much sleep as you can, as much. I did go camping though, if we want to talk about. Yes.
You did say that, yeah. You did say
so
that.
we had our
yes,
first
yeah,
2 days off in a row all season, and which was well deserved because we had 3 games in 6 days, I think it was. And so we went for a little beautiful weather down here at Tassie. Went to Bruny Island. It was Matt Kenyon, Fab, and myself. And we went down, camped. We all had our little swags. Spent the night on the beach, and came back yesterday, ready to go to prepare for Southeast Melbourne.
Sounds lovely. Little small getaway, but those things are always good. Do you like sit around campfires telling each other stories and stuff? Is that what
pretty
you guys do?
much. That was pretty much on the money. We had a fire, like nothing much. We were cooking on the fire. So we had a pan, some snags, pork chops, which were fire, and then just enjoying the moment, get out in nature, going for a swim in the beach, and just relaxing.
Tell us something really quickly about Matt and Fab that people might not know. Just super quick.
Well,
Put you on the spot,
I'll
but I
tell
just
you
wanna
2
know.
things
Come on.
that I learnt about them during the camping experience. One, Fab does not like getting dirty feet. So he was wearing socks around the campsite with his slides and shoes on. It didn't take him off till he got into bed, which is nice. And then Matt Kenyon, because he has the beautiful, luscious hair, right? Like beautiful hair. He actually buys like salt water that he sprays into his hair after he has a shower. Because that's one of the best. That's all he uses for his hair, some salt water. Sometimes he'll fill salt water up from the beach and spray that, in those $1 bottles. But he can't travel with those, so he's bought one for when he travels.
It is interesting. I can't say I've ever thought about what people do with their long hair and how they keep it intact. But hey,
There you go.
works.
Well, we'll get right back to the basketball. Enough about hair and salt, but. Another person with beautiful hair, actually, Taj McCall and that was a nice transition.
I love the segues that we just make up in our head. It's like this actually
there you go.
works.
So we will. Taj McCall's been another MVP of the game performance. I mean, Cairns sitting in second place, 5 wins without MVP contender Keanu Pinder. How are you feeling about him?
It's surprising in a very good way. Like, I think they're always one of those teams that's like, hey, they're really fun and great to watch. But when they were doing well earlier on the season, it was always like, wait, can they actually keep this going? And hey, they're 15-7 right now, and they've won their last 5. The last 5 on the NBL website, like, it's all W's. So I'm not sure if it goes past 5, but hey, it's 5 plus
it's 5.
wins
It
in
is
a row.
5, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, even if without their best player, I don't think anyone can argue that they're still
They are.
rolling.
Well, I have a question for you. If one day you'll be doing the media voting for MVP and the likes of that, does Keanu Pinder lose a couple points in your eyes because their team is winning at such a high success rate in the MVP race of a season?
That is a good question. As in terms of because he's sitting out and they're
Yes.
still winning. So okay. It's a toughie. Like, Yeah, I think it probably speaks more volumes to everyone else on the team that they can still get the job done. Don't have an answer for you. But it is an interesting talking point. Do you reckon people voting will take that into account?
I think it needs to be taken into account a little bit. I mean, it's definitely a credit to all of the Cairns guys, and they've stepped up. Dudes like Benny Ayres been playing amazing with the rise in opportunity. Sam, who's looking for Rookie of the Year, I think that's a bit of a blowaway race right now. Like he's playing elite level basketball. But I think definitely shows most valuable player of a team. And they're still winning. Don't get me wrong, he still deserves all the respect because he's what makes them special. But 5 straight, it's a credit to Cairns, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting to watch. But who's your favourite right now? If Tassie are not there, is it Sydney? Is it Cairns?
Nah, I'm not giving any team no respect yet like that. Yeah. It's still Tasmania's going to win it all, and I'm not backing anyone else. What about yourself though? If you take away Tasmania,
love it. I think Sydney have to be up there. Back to if they're going back to back, like they've already proven they can do it, even though their team's quite, Jalen Adams and stuff aren't there, but. I don't know, they're just looking so strong, and there's times it's almost like I've said it before to a few other people, it's almost like, especially Xavier Cooks, it's like he gets on a roll where if he scores a fair bit in the first quarter or so, it's almost like he's playing around out there. Like, it's almost like he's trying to, I don't know, just like experiment with his own offensive game at times, because they just get on a roll, and I think they have to be.
They're playing some high quality basketball, and as you said, right, they're back-to-back champs, a little bit of a different team, but they've proven they can win at the highest level, and they're winning a lot of these games.
More segue, really smart segue here. New South Wales teams, Illawarra. How bad's their injury luck been? I just can't. It's so it's just one of those things. Like they've had, I think this is their 3rd import now. Michael Fraser went out for the season now. There's not that much left in their season anyway, but hopefully they can bounce back next season. But this is their 3rd import that's just had a season-ending injury. So shocking.
It is tough. Like, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and they're still going out and competing every single night. And shout out to Davo Hickey, who last game had a great game. I think it was 16 or 15 points. Bringing the energy. Yep. It's awesome when you see a young fella get an opportunity because of injuries. It's a weird part of the sport where most guys don't get an opportunity until someone gets injured, and you got to grab it. And hopefully we see a lot more of him in the upcoming years in the NBL. Yeah,
he's probably like one of the brightest sort of spots in their season so far. Like, I wanted to talk a bit about him as well, because he's just had those moments where he just has the ability to do some really nice things that people might not sort of realize unless you tune in and sort of focus on games specifically. But yeah, it's great to see someone like him do some really nice things, even though I think they're 2-20 right now, which is rough. But they're actually staying in games. Like, I always feel bad for them. I was watching their last game, and they're always doing it. Like, in the 4th quarter, you're like, okay, they're up. They're gonna do this. Yep, good on them. Like, you want them to win, and then the team just rolls them over, and you're like, okay, I feel bad. It's frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes that's just age. Young fellas learning to play, make winning plays down the stretch. New coach, and this league is no joke, man. It's every single game is hard fought to get that win, and even against Illawarra, right, who are 2-20, and you walk out of them going, phew. Like, I'm glad we got that one, and that's a credit to the league in the whole.
We've got some people shouting out some hype ups by himself. A fair few people mentioned yourself, which I had to do them justice, including Isaac White, Jack McVeigh, big bold capital letters there. Hobart Devils NBL just said, all the people having a crack out there. I like that. I like that positivity. Just anyone that's having a crack. Our favourite, Jess Radford, said Jared Weeks. He's been a very solid performer for the JJs.
Not wrong at all.
Not wrong there.
Leading the league in 3-point percentage. I think so,
Is he still? Yeah. Is he still? I heard he was, earlier on he was. Kate says the Jackies fans, My State Bank Arena is the best atmosphere on game day. Can't argue. I've only been there once, but I can't argue that. Ali, she's a loyal fan, but I always say her name wrong. Ali Curlis. I'm just going to say Curlis. Angus Glover, Jack McVeigh, and Derek Pardon. Miss Kelly Reid, Rashad Kelly and his headband. So shout out to your guys' heritage and throwback jerseys. They were great. They were definitely, I'd say, my favourite.
I appreciate it, man. There's been a lot of positive feedback. The club told me my jersey sold out in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay,
we're not
that's,
sure how many were sold. That number we haven't gotten the number on, but they were sold out in 15 minutes, which is a shout out to the Jackie fans for sure.
That's really cool, actually. That's really cool. And Roger Radford says the ESPN staff that run the cable behind the camera person, the real MVPs.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people, in case you'll always see at games, there's always the cameraman in front, and then you've always got the person behind them that's literally just like holding the cable and allowing the camera to like walk up to teams' huddles and timeouts and across the court and stuff, and they're always hustling behind him, making sure it doesn't trip anyone up and stuff. So Roger loves them apparently. So
Yeah.
hey, shout out to them.
That was perfect because have you seen the recent clip going around of the the cricket, of them choosing the shot selection of what they're going to show on TV? There's this it's gone viral because it's hectic back there. I think it was when someone gets 100 runs. But that leads me to a question for you is who's someone in the media or the game day that deserves a little bit of a shout out, just like the one they got given there, that is an important role in game day experience, the media or the whole experience that doesn't usually get a shout out?
Yeah, okay. This is a weird one because it's not one I don't know, think about, but it's the first thing that came to mind. But the people, our operations people, that basically just putting together the schedule every year, I can't think of what a nightmare job that would be. And obviously you're not going to get, like all teams aren't going to be happy. It's going to be hard on some people, but I just can't imagine when that time comes that the season is like, you have to start planning for it. And your job is literally to, I don't know, everything that involves the travel, the planes, everything involved, the hotels. I don't know. It's just it must be a nightmare, and shout out to them for doing the best they can.
That's an absolutely elite one. We talk about it every year, how hard it must be just from organising everything to making sure that the games work out perfectly with TV times, bookings available and all that special jazz and then making it as fair as possible for the teams.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare. It
would genuinely be very challenging, and then you'd obviously cop some feedback and criticism, as any scheduling people would along the way. But hey, it's a very tough gig, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what you're expecting with that answer, but that's where I went.
Nah, it's perfect. Well, I haven't got any rate or hates, this or that's or hot takes, but I do have a different question lined up for you.
Go for it. Actually, quickly, last basketball one.
Yep.
NBL jerseys are now in 2K.
Wow.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
it
very exciting. The game, the most popular basketball game in the world has NBL jerseys. That's awesome.
Rate or hate?
Great question.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
Right.
That's not what this segment is called.
First one, simply put, it's Australian Open time. Do you rate or hate the tennis?
Oh, I love tennis. So I rate tennis highly. I think it's a beautiful sport, one-on-one. What about yourself?
I rate it. I'm definitely fall under the trap of only really talking about it or watching it when Australian Open is on, but I'm owning up to that, so
yeah.
I think that's acceptable.
Nothing wrong with that.
And playing, I've only played a few times, but just mucking around it's actually very good fun.
Yeah, no, it's good. I played for about 4 or 5 years. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I
had to choose between the two.
Tennis is an expensive sport because when you're doing it, it's only it's 2-on-1. So you got to pay for almost individuals instead of joining like a team or something like that. So it can be an expensive sport.
Whole different ball game. I'll be going to the Oz Open twice next week, so that should be good.
Epic.
Should be good. Next one. This is a classic basketball one that people always ask, but speaking of playoffs, big win on the road or big win at home? Like, what's the best feeling? You're going to shut the crowd up or you're going to celebrate with your Jackies fans? I'm sure they're both great, but if you had to choose. Just imagine walking around John Cain Arena telling me to shut up behind my lens or something.
I would say it sucks losing at home, but getting a big win on the road is unbelievable. So I'd have to say big win on the road.
Okay, I like it. I've got a quick side question. You're probably not going to answer the least favorite, but do you have a favorite place to play on the road?
I would say I love playing at Perth. Yeah, I love.
Yes, they had the open air game last night.
Yeah, it was.
As well.
Yes, they did, which is awesome. And Perth played amazing, and just that crowd and that fan base and the history there, especially recent history, is just awesome. So to play in front of that many people is always fun.
Least favorite? Are you going to tell me that one offline?
A least favorite
Place to play on the road?
Oh, nah, I've got an answer for that. Easy. It's New Zealand because of the travel.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. That's
Yeah,
fair.
you
That's
don't
fair.
look forward to the New Zealand trips because of the international travel.
Last one. I love diving into your post-career basketball lately. I asked about media career last week. This week is coaching. Could you see yourself getting into that post-career?
Oh, it's a great question. I'm not sure if I would ever want to do coaching at NBL level because the hardest part about being an athlete and being in this game is you don't know where you're going to live for longer than 2 years at a time. And I would like to build a base with my family, and I would love to coach like an NBL 1 level and coach kids and build programs along that side of things. It's something I'll definitely do. But I don't want to go any higher level where I have to travel for my job.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair. Yeah, you certainly have to be a different breed, I think, to jump into that coaching game. What did you have for me? What was your thing?
I love putting you on the spot, and there's 3-4 weeks left.
I love avoiding the answer as well.
And here you go. I'm writing it down. I got my notebook. Give us your 6 in order to end the season.
Oh,
it's that time of the year. It's that 6. I'm grabbing my notebook and pen. Because what is a podcast without some hot takes or without in the future looking back and saying I was on the money?
No, I actually like this. I do rate this.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going from 1 to 6.
Yes, sir.
I guess. I'm putting Sydney up top.
Nice. Sydney at first.
Yes, Sydney at first. I'm going to... What are you guys sitting at? You're 13 and 10. I reckon New Zealand are going to jump to 2.
I like it.
I reckon... Oh, yeah, Cairns will be 3.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you guys 4.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I was actually going to be like, no conflict of interest here, but I reckon Tassie will make it to 2nd. But then I saw you guys are 13 and 10.
Yeah,
Cairns are
the
already
top.
15
Yeah,
and
the top 3 have
7.
definitely made a good jump.
Yeah. So Tassie at 4. Oh, geez, this gets a bit interesting, doesn't it? I reckon Perth, especially their imports, have been playing pretty solid lately and more consistently. So they're 5.
Oh, I lock in Perth at the 5. Shout out to the Webster brothers. The Tyre had a great game last night.
Oh, geez, 6. Oh, that is tricky. That is tricky. Look, Melbourne. One of the Melbourne teams have got to be in there, even though
Which one?
I just love the amount of hype Adelaide got preseason, and if they don't make it, it'll be a bit Which one? No, I'll give him. Oh, is everyone back healthy from Southeast Melbourne? I don't know why I'm asking you, but I think they're almost back.
I'm not sure. We haven't started Scout. Scout starts tomorrow. That's when we start talking about this stuff.
get back to me.
Yeah.
I'll keep them. They'll. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say South.
There you go.
6.
Bam.
Read it back.
Okay, we
read
got
it back to me.
first Sydney, 2nd New Zealand, 3rd Cairns, 4 the mighty Jack Jumpers. He even said it like that. 5th Perth, 6th Southeast.
I like it. I like that you put me on the spot there, and I like that you're jotting it down. So let's reconvene when it's time. Is right.
That is perfect, guys. Well, have you got something to end the podcast? A gratitude moment for the week. Wow, this is a negative space. I'm just going to start chucking up random things I'm grateful for.
This is incredible. This is the best grateful for I've ever heard.
It's a bit different. My grateful for is a TV show specifically, just to switch it up a little. Have you heard of Last Chance U?
Yes,
the
yes.
basketball sort of. Yeah. Apparently the football one is even better. People say, but I've only watched the basketball one. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and then it's kind of just so for anyone who doesn't watch it, I think it's it's like an East LA college team. They basically just follow their journey. Their coach is borderline like pretty. I don't know. He makes me confused whether he's like in the right or like in the wrong because he's so passionate and so aggressive for his players, but he just wants the best for them. But there's definitely moments you're like, oh, that's a bit rough or that's a bit questionable. But I've just been really enjoying it, and it's they just follow their journey throughout the seasons, get some different teams and some different players back every season. I've just enjoyed it, and it's like it almost makes me want one day to kind of be involved in some way in like a team like that, because that's what just the camaraderie and like building as a team and following these players and helping them. It's really interesting, I think. So
there you go.
Last Chance.
Yeah, no, a lot of people talk about it. My team loves it and rates it really highly. So that's a good one.
What's yours? What are you grateful for?
Well, I don't want to say this week it's generic because it's not, and we just don't give them enough love. But it's like just the people that support us and this, particularly recently with like, as most of you guys have seen, I've been doing some writing and I've kind of changed like my Instagram, like as it's all very focused on a certain style and trying to
shout out the pursuit of excellence or to excellence.
No, the pursuit of excellence.
Of
yeah,
excellence.
And just and it's just like it's been pretty overwhelming recently, the support of everyone from when we're winning Jack Jumpers games, and my whole career I've replied to people, and it's officially hit a point where I can't reply to people. So and sometimes I feel bad about it because obviously like I want to, like, these people deserve for me to reply to, like, it's awesome, like, but it's gotten to a lot of messages. So like after a good win after that games, there was hundreds, and it was a little overwhelming in a space that I want to reply, but I can't. I just want to say to them, I read them and I see them, and it means the world to me. And thank you.
That's really cool. Yeah. So everyone out there, he sees it, he listens. I definitely, just any sort of support with anything anyone chooses to do in life is really cool. So it's cool to see how many people are backing you and jumping in those DMs and stuff after any little thing that sort of happens.
No, for sure. So grateful for all of them, the people that reach out, message me, support the post, support this. Yeah. Very grateful for them this week.
Love it. One last thing before we get out of here. My partner just messaged me halfway through this saying, do you remember like, it was probably like 6 episodes ago or something. I think it was Roger Radford said that we should get foot massages or something. Yeah, there was something about that where... Or
no, it was me. I recommended that everyone should go get a pedicure.
And then Roger jumped in a DM saying, I've just done it and it's amazing. So I still haven't followed up on you telling me that I need to do that. So maybe in the new year...
Yeah, date night.
Foot massage.
There you go. If a date night doesn't occur in the next 2 weeks for foot massages, then you're letting me down.
It's true. I'm letting the team down, so I'll do my best there, but just wanted to bring that up. So, foot massage, episode 14.
Thank you for listening, guys.